Hello everyone, my name is Nathan and today it's time for another episode of Oxygen Not Included with our one duplicate challenge here. In the previous episode we cleaned up the planetoid, made sure we have some initial power. We collected all the items here on the top and at the bottom, so everything from this planetoid is now remaining there, and I would say today it's time to tap into some of these volcanoes. Now, for most of the volcanoes, one steam turbine to cool things down would be enough. However, I'm gonna do two because I much more prefer being able to cool things down quickly instead of being power efficient with the steam turbine ratio. I would suggest we're gonna take care of the gold volcano in today's episode, kind of come up with a design that we could potentially use for all of the volcanoes, and since they are pretty close together, I think I'm also gonna build another cooling solution that will bring the items down to at least 50 degrees. In order to do that, we're going to be using those vents, especially the cool slush geyser coming out at minus 10 degrees, also the cool salt slush geyser coming out at minus 10 degrees. And this would actually allow us to get the metals to an agreeable temperature before we send them back over to the main planetoid. So maybe let's think about this for a little bit. I also would like to re-enter the facilities, and I want to make sure that we... let's actually fill this all up, and then if we have a drop of water here, we should be able to enter the facilities. I'm also gonna go ahead and remove the upper portion here. We're not gonna be needing that anymore, and I'm gonna be opening up a little hole so it actually drops down here. Let's maybe do it one over. And there it goes. Wonderful. Yeah, we did not need that any longer. Here we're gonna dump a little bit of salt water, if I have that. No pending delivery, so never mind. We're just gonna go with water instead. Probably nothing goes wrong. Now, what exactly do we actually need for a gold volcano? It is going to erupt, so we need to have this filled with steam in order to make the liquid metals solidify. Then they should be picked up by an auto sweeper and they should be led through the steam chamber here in order to cool down to a temperature of 200 to 150 degrees. And after that, they should be brought out of this contraption to the cooling sink to cool down even further. Well, first of all, we're gonna leave enough space for 2 steam turbines, something like that, and this would then be the edge. So preferably, I would like to have everything in this little space. And then furthermore, I would like to see a top room, something along these lines, where I'm gonna have my steam turbines. I'm gonna make an additional liquid lock here on the top. So once this is actually completed, then we're gonna have another liquid lock here. And just so that I don't have to pump out the room one more time, I'm actually just gonna fill this up with tiles all the way to the top. And that is gonna allow me to later deconstruct it without having any gases inside. Okay, not too bad of a progress for just one cycle. We even got our drop of water here. Let's do the same thing with the other one. And then I'm just gonna keep filling up the room here. We're also gonna build the insulated layer. And then once I got my liquid lock in place, we should have a perfect vacuum there. Okay, nice. There's the second liquid lock. We can now open up the liquid locks, both of them. And I just need to close off the room. Okay, I don't know. Maybe it goes a little bit faster than pumping out the room, and maybe not. I just hate the procedure of pumping anything out lately, mostly because of the last 5% that take like forever. And I think I would like to do it a little bit differently with the power this time around. I have a good idea on how I can route the power cables without transferring the heat, but also without having to add like a channel of some sorts with a vacuum and a pump just to have those power cables in place. But what I would like to see rather is me coming in here from the top. Now, this will not be possible with the gas situation. Let's see, what if we had a steam turbine here and then we used the centerpiece in order to route the power cables? I think that is actually a good idea. So what I'm gonna do is open up a little space here and we're gonna do something tricky in order to actually manage this without breaking the vacuum. All we need in here is a little bit of brine or something. If I enable auto bottle, wait, no, we have salt water in this case. Wait. Oh, of course, currently I don't really have access to this pitcher pump. Well, that is a mistake. There we go. Now I have a little bit of brine in here, and thanks to the power of gravity, we can set up a churn plate now. Let's do that with aluminum ore, or actually I've been using cobalt for the power in this world, so let's keep going. But since this is going to be filled up here, and we already have brine in the bottom part, all I have to do is mop up the brine once we actually come back in here, and we will still maintain our vacuum. This, however, means we have to make it one larger to accommodate a second steam turbine. And with that out of the way, let's keep going. There it is, it actually worked out, wonderful. And then we can just drag the cable all the way down and power up everything here as well. Okay, there we go, that last part actually went really quickly. And please finish, then we can go ahead and enter without any fears. Which means I'm just gonna go ahead and remove all the tiles again. We're gonna enter here as well and remove everything up to this point. Oh. Sometimes this is so weird. It seems sometimes they do take into consideration the commands that you put in before they finish their first command, and sometimes they don't. Oh well, we're not gonna question this even further. We are tinkering with the stats, so a bunch of things will go wrong. There it is, we now have a vacuum and we can get started with setting this up. The most important part is going to be to get the items out of the room. Well, technically all parts are important, since any part missing will result in failure. Anyhow, I'm gonna have my steel auto sweeper somewhere here on the top. I think this is gonna look nice. We could also push it a little bit towards the side. Maybe a lot of the room will not be utilized, other than actually cooling down the metals. Once we picked up the metals, we want to bring it into a conveyor loader that we researched recently. And I would say we're gonna keep things nice and high, also made out of steel. Then we get to the conveyor rails that I'm all gonna build out of aluminium. And basically what we want to do is just bring this throughout the steam room that we're gonna have here in the future in order to cool it down. At some point we need to check the temperature, and that is what we're gonna do here. Let me see, rails. Oh no, I cannot check the temperatures yet. Oh no, the conveyor rail thermosensor actually requires the data analysis research. It's only 30 points though, and we cannot really do it without it, or can we? Dude, honestly, it would be much more convenient to just do it with the sensor. And I mean, we're gonna be needing that in the future anyway, so what I'm gonna be doing is researching that. We can do all the research except the data analysis. However, I think we should have enough data banks to already do something about that with everything we discovered. So basically, before I leave, I would like to activate this teleporter, if possible. Dude, where are you? Oh, there we go. I just need to activate the one on the other side. However, what we could do is maybe hook this up to power. And then I would like to have all my data banks in here as well. So I'm already gonna ship all the data banks that I've collected here over to the main planetoid. You know, it might also be worth setting up the aqua tuner that we're gonna be using to cool down the steam turbines right in this first chamber. We're basically cooling down 6 steam turbines, but they will not be running all the time, so it should be easy. Yeah, I really think this might be worth it. Just have a little aqua tuner set up here on the right side. I think the gold volcano might be the weakest in terms of cooling it down, but I'm not sure. The metal volcanoes are not that dangerous for the most part. Now, do we at least have thermosensors? Yeah, we do have the thermosensor for the liquid stuff. So at least that one we could get rolling. I'm already gonna prepare just the aqua tuner, so I know what to do afterwards, but we first need to go ahead and actually do the research for the rail thermosensor. So I guess I'm gonna keep on building here, and we can already set up the power cables as well. We're gonna be using the heavy watt wire since it's gonna be routed through here. Let's just move over and down. And I want to make sure that I don't build anything in these 2 tiles of the volcano, because that is the hardest to regulate temperature-wise, and it can fluctuate quite a bit just at the point of eruption. So I decided I'm gonna leave those 2 tiles empty. I'm also gonna remove this insulated tile, but I need to be careful. There is some very hot gold here. If I remove this and it's gonna flow over, then I'm already gonna have steam in there. So I'm actually gonna solve this differently. What if we just went ahead and mopped up this first part? Then theoretically 3 tiles should be empty of brine. Yeah, that should work out. And also training up my strength. By the way, this is like the only thing that trains up strength efficiently. Yeah, come on, a little bit more. You can do it, Nathan. I believe in you. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. And now it's gonna be easy. Look at that. Steam turbine. Do I want to build this out of copper? Probably, though. Do I really? Honestly, I think I'm gonna build them out of lead, even though this has a lower overheat temperature, but I intend to cool them down below that temperature anyways. Actually, for steam turbines, minus 20 degrees overheat temperature doesn't mean anything. Yeah, it all depends on the water temperature there. But yeah, you can imagine one steam turbine and another one on the other side, and now we can just go ahead and replace this and it's gonna be okay. Because we have a vacuum here, and even though this plate here is gonna be heated up by the steam, it's not gonna be able to transfer any of the heat over to the steam turbines. And we still have a medium here at the bottom to actually cool the steam turbines. And to make sure this remains exactly as it is, I'm also gonna remove these two tiles, including... Ooh, actually, I only want to do that one here. So I remove these two liquid spots. There. Now, this is absolutely perfect and nice and symmetrical. Now, actually, before we can do the crazy research here with the data banks, we'll have to unlock it first. And with that, we go through the space program. So we unlock a little bit of that, but more importantly, the data analysis research. So I would say we're going to go ahead and do that. Go back to the main planetoid now. Let's go ahead and use that teleporter now. Teleport back over. Yes. Oh, I forgot the Atmos suit. Ah, darn it. So I guess we first want to go back here and then deliver another suit. Do I have an extra suit? I don't think so. Let's build another one in this case. Shouldn't be an issue. And then we need to go back to our skills, do applied research and just everything in research. We'll have to skill scrub before we go back anyways. And I'm also going to make sure that my supercomputer and everything, all the terminals have a higher priority, so we are going to focus on that a little bit. We are also going to be supplying some rat bolts again. And yeah, once I got access to the other research, we just add another station here. All of this is temporary anyways, just so we can get things done. Yeah, looks like I'm going to be doing some cooking first. Let me get back to you once we've made some progress in the research department. Okay, we just finished researching the crash plan for the data analysis research, and now we can switch that back. Where was I? Right there. Solid management is what we want. And we now got access to the virtual planetarium. So we're gonna build that right away. Let's do that here. We're gonna hook it up to the same power cable. Since we're only gonna be using one machine, that doesn't really matter. Now, my rat bolt collection isn't the greatest, and now that we have access to the virtual planetarium, I would say we can dedicate an episode to actually make a better dedicated system to this, where we can also potentially store a bunch of rat bolts and then do some researches in bursts instead of just waiting for this. And obviously one generator is not gonna be enough, but you know, just for one or two more researches we're gonna make that compromise, and then later on we should make a slightly more clever system. I have to say, I feel like the transit tubes really aren't faster anymore. I mean, with the Atmos suit, I'm slightly slower than on the other planetoids, but I think once we start to revamp the base, we don't even have to take the transit tubes into consideration anymore. There, that should be the last shot in order to finish that research. At the moment, it seems like I can do about 5 points per 50 rat bolts. That means I would have to load this up 6 times or 36 cycles. Not sure that is worth it. But there it is. Solid control research has been completed. Now we only have to do that one. And once that is done, I'm gonna be back. No, actually, I'm gonna show you the planetarium research first. That was the entire point, wasn't it? Wait a second, I'm gonna need 40 of the applied science researches. So it's better to actually go... Let me see. Maybe I'm just gonna set up a second generator here. I mean, that wouldn't really hurt. And I could just lead it through here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna be doing that. We gotta speed this up at least slightly. And there is my planetarium. How wonderful. I'm also gonna give this a priority of... let's do 6. I have priority 7 for the materials study terminal, so we use the rat bolts as soon as possible. Oh, I just noticed we reached cycle 1000. How wonderful. Also, thinking about it, we might be able to prolong the lifespan of the Weezword by enclosing this a little bit. There it is. You are going to be shooting down. You are going to be shooting to the left. And I want 51 rat bolts. Yeah, there we go. I think this is going to stabilize the situation a little bit. And we might be able to get away with that research before we have to switch. Wait, looks like we are now bringing some data banks. That would be great. I have about 110 data banks on this planetoid. And I'm just hoping that it's going to be enough to reach 30 points. Also, instead of mopping this up, maybe let's just build a mesh tile below. We're quickly doing the applied science research now, but that was just the first 5 points. Jeez. Can we witness some planetarium action now? That would be great. Okay, let me just put this up. Yeah, I'm gonna put it up at a higher priority. Nathan, just do for once what I want you to do. That is insert a disc and enjoy VR. Oh yeah, I just know why I love this the most. This is my most favorite research to conduct, and you can also see it goes rather quickly. We're already at 10, and how many disks did we use up? I don't even know. Let me see. Data banks, we still have 98 units, so we can do multiple researches with these. Yeah, I was a little too worried there. There's my mesh tile, and now the supercomputer isn't submerged anymore. I will have to do 70 points here. But yeah, now that you've seen everything, I'm gonna be right back once I've sorted everything out. I'm also gonna be bringing some more, let's see, lead over here. So that should be transported to the second planetoid, and then I'm gonna meet you right back once we can, you know, finish this contraption and maybe get it started already. Alrighty, I'm currently going through the procedure of scrubbing myself. Can I undo that and then take a break? I think I can actually do that. Just, you know, take my regular break, take a little nap, and then continue the skill scrubber the next morning. There we go. That actually worked out. So you can interrupt it without losing the progress. Here I am, skill free. Hold the phone. Wasn't I wearing something? Looks like, yeah, the outfit got removed visually, but I'm still wearing it. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into mechatronics engineering. That's definitely one thing we're gonna be needing. And then it's time to set up that conveyor rail thermosensor. I want this situated right here together with a conveyor shutoff. Now, I recently learned that the conveyor shutoff does not have an overheat temperature. And this is so confusing because like all the other shutoffs, I believe do have one. Yeah, look at that. The liquid shutoff does have an overheat temperature, but the conveyor shutoff does not. So you don't need to build it out of steel. Hold on, let me actually build that one block over. That's better. Now I can have my conveyor shutoff right there. Yeah, that is definitely gonna check out. If we just hook this up, I can now decide whether or not it is going through the shutoff. If we detect we are happy with the temperature, we need to get the materials out of the room ASAP. And I think for this one I will just be doing it towards the right. So we are sneaking the materials out this way. However, if they are still too hot, they're gonna bypass the shutoff and they're gonna loop around here. And because this is a green output, everything inside of the conveyor loader is gonna wait until nothing circulates anymore. Now I think we still have to set up a bridge because items from the conveyor loader could also decide to go down into the conveyor shutoff. And of course that would not be great. One way we can do this is sever the connection here again, so the rails are not connected here, and then we can use a rail bridge in order to hop over this slot, and then we go down. This way we have a clear direction. The items cannot go back into these slots. Once they are over here, they will have to go this way. And since we are going through this slot, all items on this rail are gonna have priority over the conveyor loader. We will be bringing the items outside into another cooling solution as mentioned, but for now we just want to get this contraption working internally together with the gold volcano. Also, we should get everything ready for this aqua tuner. We want to go from the sensor into the input. From the output we're gonna move up. Let me see, I'm gonna move over and then up. We are gonna be cooling the steam turbines here. You know what? I wonder, we could keep the pipe spaghetti a little bit cleaner if we just set up an aqua tuner for each of the volcanoes. It might seem a little bit over excessive, but in terms of power, we're not going to be using that much more power, as the aqua tuners really don't have to do much work. This way I could keep it really clean instead of leaving the cooling loop all over the place. I don't know, let me know what you think about that. For now, we're just gonna do that one cooling loop. And I guess I'm gonna be using some copper pipes, but I might actually exchange these pipes with aluminium, sorry. So let's make sure that cooling loop is completed. And we wanna probably go down here again. Yeah, let's do that. Go here and go over. Now, as mentioned, I would like to avoid this tile here. So instead we're gonna bridge over like so. Okay, now the only thing we have to do is a bypass, which we're gonna build right here. Actually, let's keep it inside the room. So we can also go up and then use a bridge to move over like so. I like that. It would make it absolutely squeaky clean. Let's also build the remainder of the power cables. As mentioned, I also brought over some lead in order to build my steam turbines, which we're gonna do right now. And of course, we're also gonna be hooking that up to the power grid. And we should be bringing over the power like so to the main cable. I totally forgot about the piping of the steam turbines. I probably want to bring these together and then lead them back into the room. But where is the question? I could do it here. That might actually make sense a little bit closer to the volcano, or we just go down, smack the center. Can I put something here? Yeah, I can actually do that. So why the heck not hop over here? Though this is a little bit problematic, isn't it? No, actually it doesn't matter. It's just gonna heat up the bridge, but that doesn't affect anything. I think we can risk it this way. Yeah, very nice. 2 steam turbines in place. They should be properly hooked up to power and the pipes. So what else is missing? We need to set up the values here, but also fill up the cooling loop and then make sure we have enough water. The room here is 4 tiles high and 11 tiles wide. I would like to see about 100 kilograms of steam per tile in the room. We cannot exceed 150 kilograms, otherwise the gold volcano is going to be overpressured. If we add a temp shift plate with 800 kilograms of ice, we would have 200 kilograms in one column here. That means if we add a temp shift plate every other tile, we should end up with exactly 100 kilograms. So let's get this prepared. Temp shift plate, we want to build them out of ice. I'm gonna have one here, one there, one there, one there, and one here. And that should then be enough to fill this up with enough water and steam. I think I'm then gonna borrow just a tiny amount of water here from the bottom. We're gonna bring this all the way up in order to supply it to the cooling loop through the means of a bridge. Since the output of the bridge doesn't have priority, as soon as we filled up the cooling loop, it should be full and no more packets will be added. However, I want to witness this happening, so I'm gonna cut this off, and also power, we probably need that. Let's take it over from here. I believe somewhere along these lines we're gonna need a power cable anyway. Great, my temp shift plates are being built. Since the room is uneven, we're gonna be ending up with a little less than 100 kilograms per tile, but it's still gonna be enough. Actually, I want more than 100 kilograms, so I'm gonna add another temp shift plate here at the bottom, and the last one is gonna be right there at the eruption spot. And basically it just means the temp shift plates are gonna melt as soon as the volcano erupts the next time. It erupts in 0.7 cycles, so I'm gonna wait for that eruption and afterwards we are gonna enable it, I would say. Oh, that temp shift plate already melted, of course, because of the refined metal I had there. I'm such an idiot. Let me go ahead and mop this up with priority before we get any steam. Okay. It's not that bad. It's not that dramatic. I knew it. I should have picked up this second gold piece here as well. And now I'm sleeping happily. Well, everything is fine. It is just water after all, but all the temp shift plates have melted. That means I'm gonna assess my situation. Currently, we have 220 kilograms of liquid per tile. We could go ahead, build another tile here and then just dump the liquid that we already collected. There's actually still a little bit of ice in here. I think we're really gonna be fine just adding one more temp shift plate. Should we do it right now? Well, let's just go ahead and do it. I'm picking out refined carbon here. Apparently, now I want to build this tile next. And if I can, I would like to push the water over here a little bit. So I'm gonna build this next. And afterwards, the tile here at the bottom, it's gonna be pushed over. There we go. Now we can go ahead and remove that and add the last one. Wonderful. Okay, let's make sure we set up everything here. We want to do all the materials. Now some of the ice is already circulating, but since there is no way to go, it's just going to be looping until it melts. And we can now see the gold volcano is preparing to erupt the first time. As for the thermosensor, we want to allow the materials to go through as soon as they are below 150 degrees. So to 150 degrees is what I would like to cool everything down before it even attempts to leave the chambers. And now we just need to wait for that eruption, and probably soon enough we're gonna be ending up with a little bit of steam. There it is, and we are actually picking up the gold immediately, which I think is fine. Right on the top here, it's not gonna be cooling anything down, but whenever we are actually at the bottom, we're gonna be sharing some of that heat with the water. Oh, wait, I'm not sure we're gonna be quick enough. This is already heated up to 104 degrees. And the water is still at like 20 degrees. Oh my gosh. I think we might have to activate the aqua tuner to speed things along. So let's do that. That is something we wanted to do either way. That also means I want to set up this thermosensor. To fill up the initial loop, I want to make sure the aqua tuner is enabled all the time. So I'm just going to set it to below 9000 degrees. And if that is the case, it's going to be turned on. And therefore we are using the shorter route to actually fill up the loop. And there we go. The loop is very short, so we will not have to wait for very long. And there it is already. So let's disable this, get rid of that liquid bridge. And then before we go too crazy, we need to set this to the correct temperature. So let's say we want to cool all water down that is above 20 degrees or so. And that should then already stop the aqua tuner. I was too late. I was too late. It filled up the packet. I mean, it is not that dramatic, but I wanted to do it without. So what basically happened now is we have one packet too many in there because I did that a little bit too soon. And that essentially means we'll have to rip out one packet here. And that also means I have to do that in my skills, which sucks a little bit. So yeah, considering the water temperature is already quite low, the aqua tuner is barely gonna help us out when it comes to converting this to steam. Oh, now we have an alternating pattern. I still have to remove one more slot there. And done. Done, done, done. Now it's gonna run smooth. What are you doing? One more. Okay. Gosh, tell me that is enough. Thank you. Jeez. But yeah, here we go. We have the completed contraption. We can now close this off. I'm gonna keep the liquid locks in place just in case I would like to enter again. Actually, never mind. We can easily re-add those liquid locks once we want to, though I still want a way to go down here. Wonderful. That's what I'm talking about. Nice and cleaned up. It is also pretty compact for a 2 steam turbine design. And then if we truly do the aqua tuners for all steam turbines separately, then it's gonna be squeaky clean. Okay, I would say with that out of the way, we're gonna wrap it up for today's episode. Let me know with what you would proceed as a next step. Have a great time, and hopefully I'm gonna catch you in the next one. Bye bye.